I got vomit of sparkles all over my face. Yeah. It's like if My Little Pony just sparkled all over me. Doesn't sound right. That's okay. That's this channel. Let's get into the video. Welcome to the Twilight Zone. Why do I insist on doing that? Do you guys even know what that means? Twilight Zone? Do y'all remember this? Maybe I should stop referring to that. But that's the best thing I can come up with. You know why? Because we're in another dimension right now, to the unexplainable. But the unexplainable is, look what we're doing. We are doing one of these. It's been a while since we did one of these. You know what I'm talking about by these? One of these pre-filmed videos. Everything has been live for like a year. A full-blown year. No lie, maybe a little longer than a year, because my phone equipment would not process the videos properly. So we're going to try it out. We're going to see how it goes today. And what are we going to kick it off with? Do you ask me? I shall tell you. You didn't ask me, but I'm going to tell you anyway. We're going to have the ME-FLIX Netflix series going on. What is ME-FLIX? Well, it's what I came up with, okay? Because I couldn't figure out anything else to say. So ME-FLIX Midnight Makeover is about me giving you a storyline to my favorite Netflix shows. Yes, I gotta just give it like a very short storyline, because if I went into depth with all of these, we'd be here for 2 full weeks. So yeah, it's gonna be put up at midnight, because you know why? That's the time I work. And that's all I can say. But maybe you want to watch something at midnight. You know, maybe you're bored. Maybe you're at work. Maybe you're not at work. Maybe you're bored. So I'm not doing movies. I'm not doing murder mysteries, but I'm doing Netflix series. Yes. Okay. All right. Hence the ME-FLIX, because it's me talking about it. And if you guys can come up with something better, then let me know. But for now, that's the title I'm going to go with. I kind of like it. Okay. Either ME-FLIX or MY-FLIX. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So anyway, we're going to jump into this one. And this one's all about you. Not you out there. Don't be so conceited, you guys. It's about me. Talking about you. Yeah. So the show is called You. Yeah, it is. I know. Have you seen it? If you haven't seen it, great. If you have seen it, shh, don't tell nobody. And this one is starring some great people. We got Penn Badgley, who was from John Tucker Must Die. Y'all remember that show? Remember that teen flick, you know, with, you know, John Tucker, and he's like, oh my God, he's so great. And then his brother, who's a nice, quiet, kind of intriguing one. That's Penn Badgley. He's in that one. He's the star of the show. He goes from being this nice, wonderful boy next door to a real creeper. Yeah, so it's a great show. You're in for a hoot. And the other actress, who is also the main actress, her name is Elizabeth Dean Lail, or Lail, or Lail. I don't know, because I haven't heard anybody say her name out loud. So we're going to get into the storyline, okay? All right, are you ready? Go grab a snack, take your shoes off, get something to drink, maybe something strong. You might need it, because this show's gonna take you on a roller coaster of a ride, okay? But we're gonna condense it down. It is all about Mr. Penn Badgley, and he plays Joe Goldberg, okay? And Joe Goldberg is just his alias, okay? So this show is just based around your all-American, good old-fashioned boy next door, okay? I mean, he is just your regular, typical, charismatic, very charming, very lovely, and also a little creepy kind of guy, okay? With this lovely, beautiful lady. She's walking into a bookstore. Ding, 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 ding. What's that? That is the bookstore opening, because you have your little old-fashioned bells. This doesn't look right, but that's okay. You have your little old-fashioned bells that ring when the door opens, right? And this lovely lady is walking around. She's being very mysterious. She's just kind of looking. We don't know if she's going to buy anything. We don't know what she really wants, but she's just kind of being very intriguing to Mr. Joe Goldberg, who is, by the way, the bookstore manager. Yes, he is. And being the manager that he is, he wants to make sure that he helps all of his customers. He wants to stalk her immediately. Basically, she walks in and he's already watching her. Now, the fun thing about this series, it's narrated by Joe, which is like a third person, second person. I'm not too sure exactly what it is, because I don't remember English from school. But it's like third person, where he's just narrating it as he goes. So he sees her walk through and he's just kind of like saying, oh, hey, there you are. You're walking into my bookstore. And there's a lot of the word you listed in there, because it's just an emphasis on you, since that's a title. Good job, guys. So Miss Guinevere Beck, who is the main character, she is walking around this bookstore getting Mr. Joe's attention. He's talking about her. He's saying how she's doing it on purpose, how she's just trying to look a little sexy but a little bit more kind of quiet at the same time. And he's just, you know, gauging all this from himself, right? Just all his point of view. He bumps into her to go ask her if she needs some help, of course, because he's a great manager, right? And they actually start in together real quick on picking on another customer in the bookstore. Okay, like she starts kind of talking to him, he's talking to her, they're talking about another customer in the bookstore, like, hey, look at that silly guy, what is he gonna do? Oh, we can call what his night's gonna be just by what he's looking at from the books. They have this little kind of funny banter going on right away, just right off the bat. And of course he's gonna take that as a good sign because she's actually talking to him. She decides that she's gonna grab some book finally and she's gonna go pay for it. Well, when she pays for it, she gives him her credit card, right? Well, of course, he takes this as a sign of, oh, you want me to see your name? It's Guinevere Beck. So yeah, that's why you gave me your credit card. So you want me to stalk you. Typical guy. But he goes far and beyond. So yeah, she's kind of a little flirtatious, I would say a little bit. And she goes ahead and she pays for the book. I'm surprised. I didn't think she was going to buy anything. And his assistant that's standing there with him, he's saying, oh, hey guy, you know, did you see that? I think she was flirting with you, you know? And Joe, of course, says, no, man, she wasn't, you know? So he's going to play it off, right? But already in his head, the wheels are turning. The wheels are turning and he's already thinking of all the wonderful, evil things he's going to do. But you know what? He's not really evil. He just has problems, like the most of us. And his problems turn into murder for the most part. Immediately, he's already intrigued. And he decides that he's going to take a little stroll past her place. And it's just really funny, you guys, that here in, like, you know, New York City, where all kinds of crazy stuff happens, right? She has her windows wide open. Okay, I mean wide open. There's no curtains, there's no blinds, there's no nothing. Like literally, lady, everybody can watch you. And that's what happens. Everybody watches her, especially Joe. So he walks by, he sees her, he's just kind of like looking at her, he's just saying nice things about her, right? Like, oh, look at you, look at how you want someone to notice you. And he's just kind of going on and on. Well, he does this for a few days, you know, he just kind of wants to be inserting himself in her life, kind of, you know. And what the best thing that happens for him is that she ends up getting drunk. What happens? You go down to a subway and you fall on the tracks. That's just so typical. You're gonna fall on the tracks, like, oh, I just fell. Oh, I dropped my phone. Oh my God, I'm on the track. Here comes a subway train right at me. It's just a typical scenario, you guys. So he happens to be there and he just jumps down in there. He's like, give me your hand. Give me your hand, woman. You know, and then she finally like, oh my God, okay. Waits for the very last minute. It's very dramatic. So at least watch it for that part because it's very dramatic. You kind of don't know if she's gonna make it or not. But she does. So he grabs her, he flings her up, puts her back on the platform where she belongs, you know, not on the bottom where the train's coming. And this is the opportunity for him to grab her phone and snatch it and save it. That's what creepers do. So red flags for all of you people out there who are taking people's phones and saving them. Stop that. Mr. Joe Goldberg is very clever, because he's going to save the phone. This way, when she goes and gets another phone, she keeps her same number. Of course, most of us wanted to keep our same number, right? But he keeps that phone on so he can read all of her messages and just kind of like be in her life. It's a little creepy, but it's okay. It works for the show. He keeps tabs on her and he makes sure that he reads everything that comes through from her friends. And that's how he finds out everything she's doing. He starts going through her Facebook. He starts going through her Instagram. He just goes through every little thing that he can. You know, every nook and cranny he can find out about her, he's doing it. And he just wants more of her. And then he starts to notice that she has somewhat of a boyfriend. And I'm going to say somewhat because he's more of a booty call. We all know the signs. Guy comes over, guy hits it, guy leaves, guy doesn't call for a while, girl's upset, guy comes back over. You know how it goes. So Joe isn't too happy about this. And he notices the guy comes and goes just kind of like as he wants to. Well, thinking, why are you using her? You know, why are you doing this to her? Like, if you don't want to actually be with her, then what are you doing with her? So he's getting jealous. And it's funny because he's getting jealous of somebody that he's not even with. It's hilarious. This happens all the time, especially in movies. And he's just watching her come and going and everything about her life and what she's posting about. So lo and behold, she ends up being friends with him, okay? And his thing is that he wants to be more than friends, obviously, and he's just basically like in love with her. But for most of the whole season, he's just trying to make his way in past the friend zone. And it's kind of hard for him. He really is hell-bent on setting himself up to where he's going to be part of her life, whether she likes it or not. Okay, he just is. good luck, girl. But he wants to meet her friends. He wants to get to know her on a way different level, watching her through her huge windows that, again, have no curtains. So you're asking for it yourself, Miss Beck, just so you know. That's another thing. She likes to only be called Beck. She doesn't like to be called by her first name, which is Guinevere, which is not a bad name. He ends up eventually capturing this guy that was her boyfriend, not boyfriend, booty call, but we don't know what to call him kind of guy. And he ends up capturing him. And the reason he does this is because he hates, like he just can't stand that this guy has her. This guy starts to freak out because Mr. Joe locks him up in like a glass container because he's very savvy. He really is. He's a smart one. And while he locks him up, he's asking him all these questions, you know, and he's kind of like, he wants to torture him a little bit because part of it is like for love, right? And you might say he can't love her. Well, in his mind, he does love her. So don't mess with a psycho, just letting you know. He is trying to tell this guy, like, I can't believe that you treat her this way. You know, she deserves better, all this stuff or whatever. And the guy is like, are you talking about Beck? There's no way you're talking about her because you don't know her. She's really not all Miss Innocent Goody Two-Shoes like you think she is. And I guess you're the guy that likes her and you must have been the guy that saved her on the subway street or whatever. So he keeps his guy in a glass container, which is kind of sealed off. And it's like a glass prison. You know, like Silence of the Lambs guy, Hannibal Lecter in this glass prison. You can't get out. That's what he has this guy in. He starts interrogating him. And he feeds him and everything. It's not like he's planning on killing him. I don't think. But the guy is like, look, man, whatever you want from me, I'll give you whatever you want. Like, I've got money. You know, he's like this maker of a soda or whatever, and the soda's not really good, but whatever. So Joe's like, you know what? I don't care about your money. I just want to be with Beck, and that's kind of it, right? Well, in the meantime, Beck is just mad again because this guy disappeared from her life again, which isn't a big deal because he does this. The guy, boyfriend, booty call, whatever he is, he does this all the time. He comes and goes, pops in, pops out, does whatever he wants. And so she's like, you know what? She's telling her friends, I just can't take it this time. Like, you know what? If he wants to stay gone, he can stay gone. That's it. She has no clue that this wonderful Joe guy, her stalker, has the boyfriend booty call locked up somewhere. She has no idea. Poor girl. So while he's locked up, Joe's still trying to get in her attention and, you know, trying to be more than the friend zone that he's in, which pisses every guy off. You know how that is, right? You know how it is. Don't get mad out there. So her friends kind of chime in too. They're like, hey, well, what's up with this Joe guy? You know, I kind of see that you're hanging out with him a little bit more. And, you know, what's that all about? And she kind of plays it off and acts like it's not a big deal. Like she don't really care. But she kind of does. She is kind of liking him. And they do spend a lot of time together. One of her best friends, which is Peaches, but it's actually Peach. Okay, don't call her Peaches. It's just Peach. She never really seems to like Joe. So she's funny in her own way because she is her best friend, but then she's kind of not. She's kind of like that evil best friend where she wants to do everything for you because she don't want someone else to do it. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, but she's kind of famous because she's related to a book author or a book, you know, something to do with someone who has some money, okay? And so, like, to her, nobody's better than her, Miss Peaches, okay? She's that kind of friend that she wants to make sure that she's number one in Beck's life and nobody else, okay? She's a little manipulative. She makes you, like, love to hate her. She has that presence where you really just don't want to like her. And she does end up telling Beck quite a few things and kind of like misleading her quite a few times. She just wants all her attention and she kind of like is like in love with her, but it's kind of a weird thing. You gotta watch it. That's why you gotta watch the show so you can understand what I'm saying. What do? You just don't know. But you kind of like scream at the TV, like, don't do it, Beck. Don't listen to her. It gets you very emotionally involved. But she also has other friends. You know, Beck has another friend, Annika, who was much more chill. But the sad thing is that, you know, poor Beck, like, she doesn't know which way to turn because she turns to her friends. Her friends have one opinion. She turns to Joe. He's got his own thing going on because he's totally infatuated with her. And then she really just wants the one guy that she liked to just pop back up, but he can't because he's held captive. What's a girl to do? Well, I'll tell you what, she should have ran as far as you can go, but she didn't. So she ends up letting Joe more into her life. She kind of keeps him in the friend zone for a good while, for like a few episodes. We're going to say like maybe half of the whole season. She does keep him at an arm's length, just like a friend zone. During this time, she's still trying to make it big as being an author. right? She's like a writer. She's like, you know, trying to put a story together. She's trying to learn more. She's trying to put herself more, like immerse herself into that world right there, because she wants to make something of herself. And that girl Peaches, who's her best friend, remember, she is telling her that, oh, hey, you know what? I can introduce you to some big time, you know, big wigs, you know, because my family knows them. They're all authors and stuff, right? So then Beck is like, well, could you do that? Really? Like, oh my God, thank you. So she's thinking that Peach is trying to do this to be helpful. No, she's not trying to be helpful. She wants to just make sure that she can control the situation for Beck. You know what I'm saying? She's just that girl. You'll find out. The guy that she sets her up with is like this famous author guy, and he's supposed to try to help her get a book deal. And instead, he wants to help himself get his own kind of deal. You know where I'm going with this? She gets appalled by this behavior, and she kind of tells Joe about it. So Joe gets upset too. You know, he's like, that's not cool, but I'm here for you, baby. Okay, I'm here for you. Lean on me for some support. And that's what he wants. After some strong convincing for about maybe 6 or 7 episodes, she finally ends up dating him. And then he wants to, you know, move in with her, and he wants to really just do everything he can to protect her. So to him, Peaches is a threat. So there's another threat. The first guy, Benji, was a threat, the one that was locked up in the glass cage. Do we know what happened to him? I don't know. So did I have to really get all this makeup in my hair? Did I really have to? Is that what we're going to do today? I guess so. He starts to notice that Peaches isn't really the friend that she says she is. Okay, she kind of acts like she's her best friend and that she has her best interests, but really and truthfully, she doesn't. Okay, and we can all see it from out here. We know you, Peaches. We know you. And so now Joe knows too. As soon as the day comes where Beck stands up to her, because they do finally have like a disagreement, which you kind of think was never going to happen, because like throughout the whole series, Peaches just kind of like manipulates every situation. She's that chick. She's that chick, you know what I'm saying? So what happens when she stands up to Peach? Peach gets all upset. She's gonna just have a tantrum, okay? And when I say tantrum, I mean she's gonna have a major bitch fit at home. She's gonna go and pop some pills, call up Beck, tell her that, oh my God, I'm gonna die and I don't deserve to live anymore, and I just popped a whole bunch of pills and I'm so sorry. And it's just this big old deal. It's just like, you know, it's fake. You can feel it that this is fake. This is made up. She's just doing this for attention. And she's just being a cockblock. Let's just be honest. She's a cockblocking Beck because you don't want her to go out with Joe. Simple as that. It's terrible, girl. I mean, it's just funny how there's actually people like that. Her and Joe are supposed to have like this really nice date night, but instead she has to cancel it because she's got to go rescue Peach, okay? So Joe goes with her. She says, you know what, Joe, go get me a towel, go get me some water, go get me some peroxide, whatever it is, like this whole concoction of stuff that she needs. This is going to help get Peach to throw up whatever it is that she ingested, okay? Because she's done this before. You know where this is going. This is how you know it's just so dramatic, okay? She has written down on a paper off to the side everything that she took, because she planned this. She just took enough to kind of get a little dizzy and a little woozy and a little bit like, oh, come save me, Beck. I need you so much. One of those things, you know? Joe catches this and he's like, he sees the paper. He sees everything she took that she wrote down. He's like, oh, you sneaky snake. I know what you're doing. And then Peach makes that little look over at Joe like, I know that you know that I'm faking it, but I'm going to keep faking it. So then Beck ends up saying, you know what, Joe? Go ahead and go home. I'm sorry. I got to take care of her. This has happened before. I know what to do. She won't let anybody else help her. Oh my God. She's going to get her way. So Joe's like, okay, you know what? He plays it Mr. Cool. He's like, okay, that's fine. I got you, boo. Check one. I got the next one. He takes off. He goes home. Well, when he goes home, there's other situations going on as well. In his apartment complex, there's this little boy who lives there, and his mom is constantly getting abused by her boyfriend. Her boyfriend is, of course, has to be a police officer, of course, right? Because you can't do anything to a police officer. You gotta just deal with it, right? But she won't break up with him. He's got something on her, like blackmail or something. But he's always beating up this lady in front of her kid. So Joe actually feels bad for this kid. And this is when you're watching the series, when you're kind of like in this mode where he's a good guy, you know, it's like he actually cares about this little boy, you know, watching his mom being abused, and he cares about the mom too. Even when he captures people and kidnaps them, it's like for a good reason, you know, he's doing it because he loves someone and he thinks he's helping them. It's a weird way to help somebody, but that's what he thinks in his little screwed up mind, okay? He wants to help this little boy out. And the best way that he can is by giving him books. He's like, you know what, here, read this book, you know, sit down, chillax, just read something, take your mind off of it, and it kind of goes that way for a while. It's like an everyday ordeal, and Joe does his best to take care of that little kid, right? So it's so nice. It's so nice. Too bad he's a nuts. So you also got these separate situations going on in this series, which is not just only based on Joe and Beck. You know, it's also based on Joe, how he is with other people, and how Beck is with her friends and what they do together. And a lot of it, like I said, is, you know, with him narrating the whole thing from his point of view. So it's really interesting to watch all that come to play all together. They continue their little relationship, and it does kind of take off like a whirlwind. They move in together. Life is good for a little bit, just a little bit. You know how it goes. When everything good happens, something bad happens, and it's kind of it gets deep. Are you ready for this? Okay. Joe has had it with Peach. He says, you know what? This girl's got to go. All she's doing is causing havoc. She is making my life miserable because she does not want me around. She doesn't even want to let Beck ever have any time, you know, to herself. You know, Peach always has something that's going on, or she needs Beck's help. It's just one of those kind of scenarios where she just does it on purpose. You know what I'm saying? And so Joe's getting sick of it. So what does he decide to do? For Beck's own good, he's got to take her out. He has to, for the love. It's all for love, you guys. It's all for love. She's doing her regular run, you know, Peach, and she's a very athletic girl. And as she's running in the park, I don't know what kind of park it is, but she's running down a pathway, just la la la, her merry way. He comes up behind her and crack, right in the head. Just bam, like just brutal, right in the head with a rock, big rock. He throws it and he runs away, naturally. I wouldn't have thrown it. I would have took it with me, just so you know. The next episode pops in and she doesn't die. She lays there on the floor, but she doesn't die. So spoiler alert, Peach doesn't get it. She's okay. She's in the hospital now. She's freaked out. And guess what? Now it's even worse. She thinks she's being stalked by somebody, and she's like, it's because I'm famous and people want to be me, and I knew this would happen one day. And, you know, she's all messed up. She got cracked in the head, but she's okay. So Joe's like, ah, shit. She's okay. What are you going to do? So he decides that he's going to take her some balloons. Good old Peach tells Beck, you know what? I really don't feel comfortable with any males around me. I mean, I know it's your apartment and all, but can you just send him away? I just don't want to see him right now. And so Beck does that, like she does. She sends Joe away, which is her boyfriend now. They're an item. They're an item. She tells him, you know what, just give Peach some time. Just, you know, she needs to just be alone. She's freaked out. She could have got killed. Someone's stalking her. And Joe's like, okay. He's always Mr. Joe cool. You know, he's like, okay, that's fine. I'll let her be. But he himself has already gotten the bullshit beat out of him because he stuck in when he shouldn't have, with the little boy and the mom and the dad, who's not the dad, but he's a mean guy. That guy over there, he was like dying on the floor. You know, the kid, I don't know, poisoned him or something. He's just laying on the floor. Well, what does Joe do? He goes and sticks his fingers in the guy's mouth and makes him vomit. And then the guy's like, he comes to, and instead of saying thank you, you know, prick, he just beats the shit out of Joe. He just does. He beats the shit out of him, and Joe's like black and blue and all bloodied up. And what does Beck do to her boyfriend who looks like hell? She tells him to go away because Peach doesn't want him there. So you kind of, again, feel bad for the guy, you know? He might be a murderer, but you still feel bad for him. You do. Peach is just a manipulator. He can't get rid of her. He doesn't know what else to do about it. And then he sees in her bag this paper sticking out. And the paper says, a ticket to Paris for Beck and her. Weird. Just a little weird. So he's like, what is that for? Like, why does she have a ticket, you know, to take Beck away to Paris? Beck doesn't know that Peach has this planned out thing that she wants to take her to Paris and just kind of like get away. Like, they're going to take a little vacay to get away because she's still traumatized. She's traumatized from getting hit in the head, but basically because she's a bitch. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. Okay, she wants to take her to Paris, but she's like, no, you know what? I don't want to go that far. But we can go to your cottage, you know, that she has like this little family cottage or whatever, like off in the lake. It's a real beautiful area. And she decides, I'll go with you there to go spend the weekend. Maybe it'll help you take your mind off of this traumatic thing that happened to you. Peach is a little upset, right? But she's like, I can deal with that. We can roll with this. So she does. She takes her over there. Well, some stuff goes down over there at the cottage. Okay, it gets a little weird. Okay, and the funnier thing is that Joe followed them. He did, because it's him. He can't let her go and not follow. That wouldn't be good to the story, you know. Like, he has to be that psycho that's there for everything. So he followed them, and he's been hiding out in the house, in the cottage house. He's like hiding and sulking in little corners, and nobody knows. Another plot twist is while he's in there, is Joe has been seeing another girl. Yeah. I know. I wasn't ready for that either because he's so infatuated with Beck, right? But yeah, the other girl that he's been seeing is his supposed dead girlfriend. Dun, dun, dun. What? There's a dead girlfriend from before? Yeah, you didn't know about her? No. Yeah, you know her name? Like, she's been in his, in his profile before. You didn't know that? No, no, I didn't know anything about that. Well, guess what? There's a dead girlfriend coming back and haunting him. When he's sneaking around in the house, he gets like these dizzy spells because he got cracked in the head. Dude, you have a concussion. You should be in the hospital, not stalking your girlfriend at someone's cottage. He doesn't know right from wrong. And he has an episode, and one of the episodes is where he sees his ex-girlfriend. She's telling him, oh no, Joe, are you doing this again? Don't do to her what you did to me. And he's like, oh, I'm not going to, because she didn't cheat on me like you did. And it kind of gets into some depth, right? He wakes up in this little vision and he's almost caught because they're like walking around the corner, you know, Beck and Peach like right there, like in an arm's length of him, and he has to like snap out of it and kind of get his ass out of the way. He does. He gets out of the way and nobody sees him, but you think that he's scot-free, but he's not. Because when Beck decides she's going to leave early, because her and Peach get this little argument because Peach kind of wanted to bring a guy over and have like some weird rendezvous going on, and Beck wasn't really into it. She ends up saying, you know what, I'm leaving. I'm done. I'm out. This has gone way farther than what I wanted to do. I'm here for support for you, you little psycho, but instead you want to go and have other things planned. So I'm not about it. Good for you, Beck. Good for you. So she leaves. His ex-girlfriend comes to him again, another vision. And what happens is when he wakes up, Peach sees him there, you know, so she catches him in the house. So what does she do? She pulls a gun on his ass. Like, this homegirl does not play. She's got a gun on his ass. I can shoot you because you don't belong in my house. Technically, she's right. Peach, calm down. Put the gun away. Like, what's wrong with you? She's like, I knew you were in here. I knew you were up to no good. I knew that you were going to do something to hurt Beck. And he's like, no, you're the bad influence. You're the one trying to make her do things that she shouldn't be doing. You're not a good friend. And they're kind of like just bickering back and forth, right? Well, again, don't forget, she's got a freaking gun. Fix it. She's got a gun. He is a little scared for his life, right? Well, he ends up running out of the house and she freaking shoots him. Bam. She shoots him. He goes down. He goes down. Poor guy. Like, he already got beat up and now he's going to get shot too. Yeah, he is. Falls down. He got shot. Obviously, he can't keep on running. And I guess she thinks that she killed him. And she's kind of okay with it. So that right there tells you something's wrong with her. He swipes her leg, knocks her down, and you hear, bam, a gun go off. So what happened with the gun going off again? Did Joe get shot again? No, he killed Peach. So he got what he wanted. He ended up killing her. I know, I just said it like it's not a big deal, but she kind of had it coming. She kind of did. And trust me, when you watch it, you're going to feel the same way. So Peach is dead now, okay? She's muerto. Joe is no slacker. He takes this opportunity to type up a suicide letter, right? And of course, everyone's going to fall for it because what did Peach do? She always pretended to commit suicide. Like, she always pretended. She took pills. She went and cried to Beck quite a few times. So now it kind of like seems like, yeah, it did happen finally. The one part of it is that people don't kind of want to believe that she would shoot herself. You know what I'm saying? But they just can't believe it. And Beck's like, no, yeah, believe it. She had problems. Now we have to deal with Beck's aftermath, okay? And the aftermath of that is, don't forget, they were best friends. And even though best friends have arguments and, you get pissed off with each other and you don't want to talk to them anymore, it's like, I hate you. No, I hate you. Ah, okay, we're back and we love each other, So losing your best friend, of course, it's going to mess with you. And so now she's a little distant from Joe, right? So now Joe put all that work into just dating this girl, did so much, behind the scenes that she has no idea about, just to like try to protect her. He's doing all this work, to be with this girl, and now she's shutting down. What happens is she has to go and get a therapist, right? So Joe ends up seeing the same therapist that she's seen, okay? He doesn't tell her. He's so sneaky. I mean, he's good. He's really good. But he makes it like he is in a different relationship, okay? So he's like a completely different client. He has no relation to Beck. The therapist doesn't even know. The therapist, by the way, is played by John Stamos, which is pretty neat. So all the scenarios that Joe is using while he's talking to this therapist are scenarios that are actually happening between him and Beck, right? And so Beck is seeing this therapist, and Joe's just doing it because he wants to try to find out, what is she doing here? Like, he wants to know when she's leaving, when she's going. He just stalks the whole situation. So he ends up seeing that on her phone, the therapist has called her. His way to just stay connected is by seeing this therapist and making up his own story that he has his own relationship with someone else. So it's kind of clever. It really is. But the whole time, he's accusing Beck of sleeping with the therapist. So she finally gets pissed. She's like, you know what? I can't take it anymore. I can't take it. I lost my friend. It's very sad. I've got a lot going on. I can't become a writer. I'm trying my best. I have no heart to do anything anymore. And now you're going to blame me that I'm sleeping with my therapist. There's no trust here, Joe. There's no trust here. And he's like, okay, I'm sorry. My bad. It's just that your phone is ringing. You're constantly moving it. It's just kind of weird moving around it. Just saying, you know what? There's no trust. Then there's no us. Period. And she breaks up with him. So all of that energy that he put into dating her just kind of backfired. Yeah, it kind of just all did like that because she just dropped him like a hot potato. Do we say that anymore? Is that a term anymore? Well, it is today. She doesn't question it anymore. She can't stand that, you know, he doesn't trust her. Well, you might not believe this, but believe it. He ends up with someone else. He's with some other girl already. He's kind of left Beck alone. He's like, you know what? She don't want me. I'm going to leave her alone. I did all this craziness for her. She don't even know. Let's just leave it at that. Just say la vie. Let it go. And she should have let it go. Beck really should have just stayed away. Like, you broke up with him. Why are you coming back? I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know. But I'm going to tell you what happened. He ends up letting the new girlfriend go. And the new girlfriend wasn't really, you know, she kind of didn't care. She's like, well, all right, you don't want to be with me? Good riddance. I don't need you. I can get someone else. I got you. I can get someone else. No big deal. She did have a couple encounters with Beck, and she kind of knew that that was her competition. But Beck was acting like, oh no, I don't want to be with him anymore. I broke up with him. Blah, blah, blah. They ended up back together. And it's kind of sad because, you know, poor girl, she should have just stayed away, but she didn't. And that's what happens. Take note of this whole series, okay? You out there. He falls right back in where they left off, and he does end up asking her. He's like, hey, did you really end up cheating on me with your therapist? And she does tell the truth. She's like, yes, I did. She's like, it wasn't supposed to happen. You know, he kind of like manipulated me. It just turned into something that I didn't expect it to. She's like, I ended it. I didn't want anything to do with him anymore. And Joe's wheels are turning. You know, when you watch him, his wheels are turning, and it kind of makes you a little scared. I was already scared for her, but you know, I couldn't tell her. I was yelling at the TV, but she wasn't listening because she don't listen. Beck does not listen. You're going to find this out. And she's crying. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. But she did. She meant it. And then Joe's like, you know, that's the one thing that was like worse for him was to find that out. But he kind of forgave her, and he's like, well, you know what? We're going to move on past it, and life is going to be good. We're all going to be hunky-dory. Well, she couldn't leave well enough alone, could she? No. Typical girl. You got to be snooping around when you shouldn't be snooping. And she found out some stuff that she shouldn't have found out. So she happens to go into his bathroom from a little bit of encouragement from the little boy. Remember the little boy who knew him? The one that he always wants to try to save him with the mom getting beat up with the guy or whatever. And that little boy tells Beck, well, yeah, if you ever need something to hide, you can always use the bathroom ceiling. And Beck's like, what? Like, that's funny. Like, who says that? You know what I'm saying? He's like, you know, just tell Joe he can have his book back because I know that's where he was hiding it, like in his bathroom ceiling. So, of course, Beck has to be nosy, and she goes into the bathroom, and she just happens to lift up one of the bathroom ceiling tiles. And lo and behold, oh, it opens. Oh, what's up in there? Let me just casually fall into what's up in there. She finds something that she shouldn't have. She finds a box that's full of mementos. That's how we're going to say it. We're going to call it mementos. And what's one of the mementos? Her phone. She sees her good old phone from the very first beginning of their meeting when she fell off into the subway and lost her phone, right? He had it right there because he's had it the whole time. That's how he's known all of her life. She's like, oh my God, she drops this box. There's other things in the box. I'm not going to tell you. You got to watch it for yourself. And she drops the box. She can't believe what she's looking at. She freaks out. Joe just comes back from getting them a little treat, you know, like I think he went to go pick her up some breakfast or something. And everything was supposed to be going great, right? Well, it's not so great after that. He realizes that she's acting funny. and she's acting funny because she's coming out of the restroom and there's some broken glass on the floor because homegirl doesn't know how to hold on to things. Yeah, she can't. She's Butterfingers. Okay, so since she made that mess, she couldn't pick it up properly, and Joe caught onto the whole thing. The next thing you know, I guess he knocks her out because she just kind of like wakes up in that glass cage. Remember the glass cage? Hannibal Lecter? Remember all that? We're back to that again. We're back to that. And so she's in the glass cage. She's freaking out. She's asking him, Joe, why am I in here? You know, get me out of here. And he can't. Like, he just seriously can't get her out of there, because if he does, what is she going to do? Like, she already knows he was the creeper. She already knows that he knows everything about her, that he was stalking her phone. He's got other items in that box. So she is just freaking out, right? And she's like, what am I gonna do? I'm in these walls now. I can't get out. You have me locked in here. Like, what are you doing to me? And he's like, look, calm yourself down. Take this opportunity to write something, okay? Because you haven't written anything in a long time, and you want to be a writer. You want to be a famous author. So now I got you a typewriter. Put it in there for you. Just type something up. Take this time as an opportunity for you, because I care about you. That's how crazy he is. She does end up asking him very calmly, like, did you kill Peach? Please tell me it wasn't you. Please tell me. We all know it was him, but she's just, please tell me it wasn't you. And he's like, yes, I did, but for good reason. And he kind of had a good reason. It was self-defense, you know. But then he kind of goes on and tells her about Benji, which was the boyfriend booty call, right? And he's like, you didn't know the kind of guy he was. He did some shady ass shit before, and I found out, and I blackmailed him, but he didn't survive. He's explaining himself to her, and she's just getting sick. She's sick. Like, you're kidding me, right? You just killed everybody that I knew and loved, and you think it's okay? And he's like, yeah, because it was for your own good. He thought that was the right answer. You know, he has to leave and he has to go do other things. And she's like, no, don't leave me here, you know. But he's like, I got to. He's got other stuff to take care of. Because remember the little boy? You know, there's still some stuff going on with him, right? And the mom and all that nonsense. But he comes back. He always brings her food. He brings her favorites. You know, he like spoils her. He really does. She doesn't know how good she has it for being a captive. You know what I mean? I mean, there's levels of captivity. That doesn't sound right, but there are. So she was pretty good. She should have been happy. He's just trying to calm her down. And when he comes back and feeds her, she like has this epiphany. Like, you know what? Maybe if I pretend like everything's okay and that I forgive him, he'll let me out. So she kind of does that a little bit, you know. And then she realizes he's not going to let her out right then and there. She's got to earn his trust. And she says, don't worry, I'll earn your trust. Not to worry. I'm okay. I'll just stay here and type my little fingers away. Okay, that's what I want to do anyway. I want to be a novelist. Let me type. She's like, you know what? To hell with it. If you can't beat him, join him. And she's got a typewriter. He provided her with a typewriter. He provided her with books, you know, a nice little cage that's clean, a nice bucket that she can use, and he empties it for her when she's sleeping. I mean, it's just so endearing. It really is. So she kind of just says, you know what? It's not that bad. I can get through this. Let me go ahead and type, and let's write a book. So she starts doing that. And as she's doing that, she starts narrating. You know, she's doing what Joe does, how he narrates the whole scenario. Now she's narrating. They allow her to pop in with her own narration about things. So when he comes back to check on her, I mean, she really does make him believe that she's going to be okay with this. I mean, I don't know why he'd fall for it, but really, she kind of does sell it really good that I really want to still be with you, okay? And I've got a lot of writing done. I've been doing my novel thing. I think we're going to be okay. It's always a good thing when you're locked up in a glass cage and you have to come to terms with something and everybody thinks it's going to be okay. That's always good, right? He says, you know, I knew you would see my side of it. I knew you would come around. And we'll just work through this. We're going to work through all these murders. No one's going to tell. There's nobody to tell. So maybe he doesn't have to lock her up anymore. Then he does open up the door. He opens it up with his little key. He lets himself in and they start hugging and kissing. And it's kind of funny because you think like it's going to be all right for them. Like you kind of fall into it for a second. Just a second. She goes and she grabs like the sharp tool and just bam. Like she was brutal. This season is not to play, okay? She stabs him. He's in shock. He can't believe it. She locks him in the glass cage. She starts running up these stairs because she don't even know where she's at. And lo and behold, would you not believe who was up these stairs? That little boy. the little boy that's his friend from his apartment complex that he's been helping out, he's in there. And he's right on the outside of this locked door. She's got a screen door between her and the little boy. She's like, open the door, it's me, let me out. Joe's crazy, he's murdered everybody. And the little boy knows something, okay? He knows something that she doesn't know. And because of that, he can't open the door. He just can't. So he walks away. And she watches him walk away. And she knows that's it for her. Because guess what happens? Yeah, you guessed it. Joe gets out somehow of the glass cave, okay, the little enclosure. He grabs her, and they kind of just cut to a next scene. And the next scene, unfortunately, isn't one that you expected. Kind of like makes you feel like, is this really the way it's going to end? Like where he's tried his darndest to get a hold of this girl, to get his hands on her, make her love him, kill everybody she knows because he's doing her a favor, and then just let her go like that? Like, is that where this show is going to go? So there's a funeral. That's all I'm going to say. And there's pictures of her. And her book does end up making a bestseller. So, remember The Therapist? Remember? We thought he was going to be, kind of written off. And you kind of felt like, okay, well, he got lucky, right? Because so far in this story, not everybody's lucky. He had his own plans for The Therapist. Because it kind of just fell into place to where Joe could frame the therapist for her murder. Because she did mention therapist in her little novel book. So he is a smart cookie. He's a smart one. You got to be aware of those, okay? Be aware, stay away. When the men are smarter than you, get out. So yeah, therapist gets arrested, put in jail. She gets her best-selling novel, although she's not there to see it. That's the point. She wanted a best-selling novel. She got it. Beggars can't be choosers. This is it. Are you guys really going to leave us with this? Like, he killed this girl? Did he really? I don't know. So it's another plot twist, okay? So of course, with her not being around, Beck is, gone, right? He can't stick around in this town anymore. It's a hot zone now, like too much is happening. He's being looked at. There's police around, there's a lot going on for him. And the poor guy, he can't escape it. Where's he going to go? What's he going to do? He's going to pack up and move. That's what he's going to do. And he sees somebody in a grocery store. The narration starts. He's watching this girl go by and he's like, and there you are. It's you. Look at you. Is he going to befriend this nice young lady and kind of do the same thing to her that he just did to poor Beck and the poor ex-dead girlfriend? But is she really dead? Is she? There's a lot that happens that I haven't explained. I'm not going to give you all the details, you guys, because then you're not going to want to watch it. Hello. He's just so well put together. He's well-mannered and he makes you believe that he's literally the boy next door, when he's really the boy that lost his fucking mind. Okay? All right. I can't talk and do lip liner. I'm sorry. It's just, it kind of leaves you a little bit cringy, but you also want more. You're a little bit, hey, this story was really weird, but I want some more of it. It's kind of one of those, And no joke, I have to watch season 3. I don't know when it's coming out. I think it's almost out, but I can't wait. I hope you guys enjoyed the little look I put together. I really didn't know where I was going with it because I was trying to tell a story. And when you're trying to tell a story, you kind of like lose track of what you're doing. Just honestly. That's it. That's all I can tell you. Wanted to be a little bit dramatic, Story needed some drama. It really did. Like, if it didn't have enough inside the season, we got some going on right now. So I did have to wing this sucker out as far as I could. I mean, I could have probably went out to here. But who wants to do that, Because then I got to wipe it all off. It's just too much. I love purple. I love purples. So I had to do a little purple moment. That's what we did. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story of Joe Goldberg and his wonderful obsessions and how they're going to proceed into the next season. It's a lovely time. It really is. You got to jump aboard and go watch it, okay? If you like it, please let me know. Give me a thumbs up. If you don't like it, just still give me a thumbs up, okay? That's a nice thing to do. I have a bunch more seasons that I've watched of all kinds of Netflix shows. So I've got a whole arsenal, okay, of these type of stories. So if you do like this kind of thing, let me know. Put it down in the comments below. Maybe put a request if you want. I'll do a request. I mean, if you guys have a show that you want me to watch for you, I will definitely do it. I will be your wingman, okay? Just don't give me some crazy kid stuff, okay? I don't want to watch 10-year-olds sliding down stairs, okay? I don't want to see that. And as always, please be kind. That's all I can say. Kindness is free. It doesn't cost anything. And let's remember that when we're parking our vehicles in the parking spot. Why get this close? Don't do it, okay? Because the same way that you parked here when I was already parked here and you want to get out of the car, I want to get out of the car too. How are you going to do it? You're going to MacGyver yourself out of there? Is that what you're going to do? Are we going to do like some kind of like contort ourselves like Charlie's Angels and get out of the car over the roof and end up on the hood? Is that what we're going to do? I can't do that, okay? So stop parking this close to me. So just remember, treat others the way you want to be treated, and all will be well in the world. Happy midnight, whatever time it is for you. I appreciate you. Come back and see some more, and I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you enjoyed. He walks into a grocery store, and who's in that grocery store? A nice young lady, of course. Of course. So we do start off with our wonderful, oh, dropping stuff already. Is that how we're going to do? Is that how we're going to do? Yeah, that's how we're going to do. You know how it goes here. And please remember to be kind, okay? No matter where you are, what you do, always spread the kindness. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't cost anything. And definitely, most definitely, stop parking next to people like this close, okay? Because when you cannot get out of your door, how are they gonna get out of their door? That's what I wanna know. Are they gonna pull like a MacGyver? Are we MacGyvering this? Is that what we're doing nowadays, people? Parking this close to someone? What are you thinking? That's all I want to know. So be kind when you're parking. Because I'm 42 years old. I want to open the door like normal. Just saying. So we're going to get into the storyline. Are you ready for this? Did I just drop it again? Are you serious? Did I just drop it again? I got it. And she doesn't really want to be around people right now. But the friends just keep on. You know, because you know how friends are. They just keep on because they know everything better. I know what she wants. You don't know what she wants. You know what I mean? Why am I doing this? I don't know. But it goes with the story, okay? She breaks up with him. So he did this really nice thing. He goes and has this really nice birthday party for her, plans all this stuff out, gets all this togetherness, all these people, all this whole group, has a nice cake, and she walks out. I'm like, girl, aren't you going to eat that cake? Like, they're singing happy birthday. You're so rude. But yeah, she walked out. So what happened? She broke up with him. Poor dude. Now what? Well, I'm going to tell you what. You ready for this one? After this break. No, I'm just kidding. There's no break. It's my channel. Let me know. But right now we're going to stick with ME-FLIX, okay? So the whole point. It's a very easy word. It's like 5 letters. Point. Watch this show. We'll watch this show. Should I still film? I don't know. I can't put regular English sentences together. Watch this show, okay? Because this show is going to tell you about another show. Doesn't sound right. This with me, this whole... I talk a lot with my hands, especially when they're broken. I should just keep it down. Okay, bra's falling. I gotta pick that guy up. We gotta get adjusted. You know, get adjusted and disgusted. I don't know. That doesn't sound right either. Just get adjusted. I really hope you guys like this series. Okay, it's all about me talking about my favorite Netflix show. Tell YouTube to stop being a meaner. Okay, and to push the video out, especially if you like it. So tell YouTube that. I'll wait while you do it. Just call them up and tell them for a friend. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Anyway, so I do hope you like it. So it's all about me talking to you. I've said that already. It's not always about me, but it is. So get with the program. The show is called You, and it's about this. No. Where's my tea? Anybody make it? It's because I'm parched. Gotta have excuses for something all the time. Have a backup of excuses. So it's all about You, okay? And it's a really good show. Yeah, I watched it. I binged it. I binged all 2 seasons. There should be a 3rd season. You're going to like it. You are. And if you don't like it, don't tell me, okay? Just keep it to yourself. That's a nice thing to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing my makeup. Why is it so hard to do this intro? I don't know. It wasn't this hard when... It wasn't this hard. It wasn't. I mean, when I did this live the other time for Lucifer, I didn't have this much trouble. And now I'm not live and I'm having more trouble. Okay. I forgot what I was going to say, you guys. I spent 3 minutes talking about nothing. Sounds about right. That's what we came for, right? Hi. How are you?